not breaking any news here. Joe Biden, I've shown you the truth. These are not gaffes he's making. This is somebody who's having a cognitive decline. I'm not going to play doctor, as I've told you. I don't know what is wrong with him. Could just be old age. He's tired. But these are not gaffes. This is somebody aging with a cognitive issue. And apparently, this is, to me, this story is going to blow your mind, because to me, if it's even possible, I think Joe Biden is worse, way worse, than even Hillary Clinton was in 2016 as far as bringing people out. Because to me, even though the media says there's not, these things don't matter. There's three important signs to look at when you want to look at enthusiasm in a candidate. Number one, look at the community. You see a lot of lawn signs for candidates. You see a lot of street signs for candidates. You see a lot of signs on buildings. I mean, I remember going around Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. I saw a lot of Trump stuff everywhere. Saw very little Hillary Clinton stuff. The media said, oh, that's not a big deal. They're just not putting the signs out there. Okay. Rally size. The media also said in 2016, a lot of the pundits said, oh, Bernie might be getting rally sizes or Trump might getting rally sizes. You know, that doesn't matter. Older people vote and don't go to rallies. Well, Hillary Clinton could barely sell out college gymnasiums. Thirdly, fundraising. Are you getting a large number of grassroots support? Well, Joe Biden is not selling out, frankly, local union halls. We've shown you. They have to actually put people working from the unions in the seats to fill out the crowds. I haven't been out on the road enough to even comment on lawn signs and stuff like that. But in this surprisingly good piece from Politico, they took a break from their political jihad against Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden raised $4.6 million online on his first day in the 2020 presidential race, surprising doubters who thought the former vice president couldn't run a modern campaign. But since then, Biden's online fundraising has tumbled, looking more like a flash-in-the-pan opponent, Beto O'Rourke, than top-tier rivals like Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. More than 60% of the $13.2 billion Biden raised online came in the first week of his campaign, which launched in late April. I remember it launched on the 5-year anniversary of the Flint water crisis. Shows Joe Biden's thinking to launch his campaign on that anniversary, but I digress. So, more than 60% of his $13.2 billion raised online came in the first week of his campaign. So since then, I mean, that's falling off a cliff. While other top candidates spiked early and then gradually raised more money online as the 2020 campaign is carried on, Biden's pattern is similar to O'Rourke, who roared into the race with millions raised in his first day, but has trickled off since then, watching his standing in the polls erode as the people who flocked to his 2018 Texas Senate campaign stopped mashing the donate button with every email. Unlike O'Rourke, Biden has enjoyed a steady stream of high-dollar in-person events with big donors to bolster his finances, putting him among the top Democratic fundraisers in 2020. But the online totals are a sign that Biden has not built enthusiastic grassroots support for his presidential campaign, despite his lead in the polls. Politico's review of presidential fundraising via Act Blue also shows that the former vice president didn't generate other types of spikes or breakout moments that other campaigns feasted on during the first half of this year. That includes well-received debate performances, televised town hall appearances, or even announcing support for impeaching President Donald Trump, all of which drove fundraising for other Democratic campaigns early this year. Asked about the trends, a Biden campaign ad said there are other indicators that the campaign is building a strong online effort. For example, 2/3 of Biden's online donors joined his email list since his campaign launch, according to the aide, demonstrating growth. Our campaign has grown beyond expectations, and we fully expect the growth to continue as we focus on building a strong and stable grassroots fundraising operation. So, boy, let me be clear, okay? Joe Biden is doing, at this rate, I mean, we could look through our emails, probably 2 or 3 high-dollar fundraisers a week. He's doing more high-dollar fundraising than actual rallies and campaign events. So it could be for many reasons. Would he rather just hang out with rich people, wearing his aviators in Cape Cod, in the Hamptons? And we're going to get to Kamala Harris in the Hamptons, by the way. He'd probably rather hang out with those people. Or does his campaign know this is the only way they could fund not only a full primary, but then a general election, because he doesn't have what Bernie Sanders has, or to a lesser degree Elizabeth Warren have. Bernie Sanders is, honestly, I wish we had the mojo Bernie Sanders does at Status Quo. Bernie Sanders is creating a recurring subscription-based fundraising army. He has people signing up for, in some cases, weekly, in most cases, monthly donations. Small dollar. His average donation has dipped down to $16 per donor, which, if you get his campaign emails, they've asked for either more individuals to donate or for people to give a little bit more, I think from like $2.70 to $5. Joe Biden's campaign knows there isn't people chomping at the bit on the ground to give money to Joe Biden, because they're kind of like, Biden, can I have the Hershey sundae instead of the broccoli, Mom? But the difference is, broccoli's good for you, Biden's not. It's remarkable. 60% of online donations, meaning 60% of his grassroots donations, came in the first week, which shows you a lot of the money that could be going to Joe Biden in terms of the grassroots are going to Warren or Bernie or other candidates. So if you can't fill out a union hall, if for foreign policy speeches and domestic speeches, the campaign is clearly choosing smaller venues because they know he can't fill out a larger venue. If the campaign, we saw a story last week that the campaign is being advised to, quote, scale back his campaigning, with unnamed Democratic Party people saying he looks to struggle more at evening events. And now you're seeing basically his grassroots fundraising from small dollar people falling off a cliff. And by the way, when you juxtapose this, say what you want about Donald Trump and the Republican Party, they are creating a financial tsunami. Donald Trump has fundraised, and he started his fundraising for 2020 pretty much as soon as he was inaugurated. I think the RNC or Trump in the last quarter raised over $100 million. Now, money doesn't buy you victory. Hillary Clinton outraised Donald Trump 2-1. Trump is president. So it doesn't just mean because Trump has more money, he'll win. But if he's running against, somebody that they have to drag, it's like that mile run. You ever run the mile in high school? I remember, love him to death, this guy I went to high school with. Had some asthma, probably overweight. People had to help him finish. He was really struggling. So people went and, see if he was okay and kind of drag him to the finish line. This is what we're talking about with the last vice president of the United States. I don't need to go through all the stumbles, not remembering which cities just had massacres, saying the kids from Parkland visited him while he was vice president, even though the shooting happened 2 years later. Equating all poor people, all poor kids with black kids. The list goes on, and it's going to keep happening, and this is why he's in the political witness protection program, and his campaign only puts him out every other Tuesday. But this man is not just past his expiration date as far as energy. He's past his expiration date as far as the times. If you read, we get reports from his fundraisers. He keeps talking to these high dollar donors about like, oh, you know, the fever will break when I become president. You know, these Republicans, they're good men and women, and you know, they want to work with Democrats, but they're afraid of Trump. No, they're not. They were extreme before Trump. They've been pushing tax cuts for their donors, pushing deregulation, pushing environmental deregulation. They don't give a damn when black men are massacred. They don't give a damn about women having a choice in what they do with their bodies. And they certainly don't care about income inequality. And to them, prosperity and humanity is how much money can rich people get. These are not people you could work with. These are not, you know, this bygone era of Democrats working with Republicans. And I don't really know what era Joe Biden is even talking about where Democrats and Republicans work together to get good things passed. Democrats and Republicans worked together during the 90s. Huh?
The crime bill.
Yeah, maybe he's talking about the crime bill. Which, yeah, bipartisan compromise basically caged black people for generations and generations. They're still in there. And now he says, oh, on second thought, maybe we went too hard. So, I don't know. I mean, the more you look at this, and the crazy thing to me is, for all these people that go on CNN and MSNBC and write in the New York Times and the Washington Post and all of this, that have the audacity, in one breath, they scream, Trump is unprecedented. Trump needs to be defeated. They're just basically being silent to prop up somebody who's clearly not the best candidate to run against him. Clearly a liability to run against him. So, you know, when's it going to be? If all the grassroots support is gone, that means he has to continue doing high dollar fundraisers every single week. Some stretches, that's all he's going to be doing, which is the exact opposite contrast you want with President Trump. You can't paint President Trump as the most corrupt president of all time when you're basically lying at the altar of these brave patriots from Goldman Sachs, these brave patriots from pharmaceutical companies, these brave patriots from Comcast who are union busters and own MSNBC and NBC, and these brave patriots from Silicon Valley, big real estate, and all the other usual suspects. No thanks. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.